guys, it's Maddie or Books with Maddie. Today I am reading 1-star reviews for my favorite books of 2019. Like I said, today I'm reading 1-star reviews, well, one or like low ratings for my favorite books of 2019. Just like a disclaimer before I start this video, obviously I respect everybody's opinion. I think that it's great that one of the greatest things about the book community is it is so opinion based and it is so like taste oriented. So some things that I really enjoy in books may not be things, well, definitely aren't things that everybody enjoys in books, and maybe some things that people actually hate to see in books. So I totally respect everybody's opinion that I'm going to be reading today. There's no tea, no shade. I'm not like trying to bash anybody's opinions. Everybody deserves respect for their own opinions, just as I think that I deserve respect for my opinions. I think that the people who I'm going to be reading from today, they deserve respect for their opinions. Okay, I readjusted some things that should work. I should be able to put the review there. So the 5 books that I chose from 2019 in my top 10 favorite books of 2019, I didn't want to do too many and I tried to choose kind of like a variety. So the first one is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. This is a adult romance book. 5 stars. The next one is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a historical fiction and also 5 stars. They're all 5 stars. I'm not going to say that every single time. They're all 5 stars. The next is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, a YA fantasy. The next is Lovely War by Julie Berry, and this one is like my #1 book of 2019, so this is gonna be a little bit painful to go through low reviews of this book, but it's a historical fiction romance. Also mythology. I'm not trying to make you read this book, but it just turns out that you should. So the order I'm going to do them in is the ones that I feel like the least strongly about to the ones that I feel the most strongly about. So I'm going to start with Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating, just because I feel like I don't have like very intense opinions about it. It is like my favorite romance contemporary book of all time, but I don't read a lot in that genre, so it's just so good. Anyway, I'm going to be getting all my reviews from Goodreads, by the way. I don't know if that matters, but that's what I'm doing. So the overall rating of this book is 4.08 stars, which I agree with. That's like actually a really high rating. It has 40,000 ratings and 6,000 reviews, which is fun. So how do I just see the ones that are 1 star? Okay, there are 393 1-star reviews on this book, and I don't know how to just see them. I really should have. Okay, I figured it out. So the first one I'm gonna read is half star out of 5. So this isn't even 1-star reviews. This is half of a star. By the way, Goodreads, come on, half stars. We need them. So this person says, it wasn't bad, but I didn't like it at all. Plot and characters were very generic. Nothing stuck out to grab my attention. By some reason, I didn't like both main characters. Sometimes I found them even annoying. I think this book just wasn't for me, but I see why a lot of people... Okay, that was a nice review, but I see why a lot of people like it. That's actually a nice, reasonable review. What I will say is, in my opinion, I enjoyed the characters, but I could see how they, like... I think that main character Hazel could be very polarizing, as she is in the book. I think that's part of her, like, her character, and so I could understand how somebody could not really relate to that character. So that was actually a nice review. Okay. Let's get some more spicy reviews. Okay, Okay, well, this person says, DNF, ridiculous plot, annoying heroine, enough said. Oh my gosh, a lot of these are about the characters. Wow, a lot of people could not stand Hazel, and that's very interesting to me because I feel like a lot of the high star reviews are about how enjoyable the characters are to read from. So it's interesting, like I said, how polarizing Hazel is as a character. I'm gonna read this one because this one is grabbing my attention. So it's 1 star, obviously. Wow, this is a long one. All right, we're ready to go. So Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating reads like a version of Amy Elliott Doone's story from Gone Girl. Now that is a great opening to a review. 5 stars for that opening because I'm very interested in that. I loved Gone Girl. Yes, I know this is an odd thing to say about romance, but Hazel's the cool girl. Oh, I know she talks about her freewheeling spirit and tendencies towards saying the unexpected have made her hard to handle, but she has a cool girl job, works with 3rd graders, just the right age for her. She totally loves kids that age, plus she has loads of cute stories about them and her. Her total BFF is a relatively new friend, Emily. Hazel just had to become friends with Emily, you see, had to. And now that Hazel and her husband, I'm sorry, and now that Emily and her husband, my bad, Dave are totally gaga for Hazel. Oh shucks, they find her hilarious and adorable. Hazel has totally got a new job teaching at Emily's school, where Dave is the principal, and already prepared for Hazel's antics because she's so cute. Okay, pause. I see what they're saying. I see what I hear you, and I say I understand that it isn't the most like realistic situation, but like, I don't know. It's fun. It's just fun, okay? Next up, Hazel goes to a barbecue at Emily and Dave's. So much fun. Hazel is going to eat so much and drink, but not too much because she doesn't want to do anything too embarrassing. Uh-oh, the talk has turned to boobs. Don't worry, Hazel is totally cool with hers being named Best. She even has a loud joke about it, and oh no, everyone is looking at Hazel and her awesome breasts. Okay. I understand this. That was the weird part in the book. I wasn't in love with that part of the book. I will admit. That wasn't like amazing. But she has amazing breasts. What is she supposed to do about it? Enter Josh. Hazel and he met in college where she was that kooky hot girl everyone knows, but Josh, well, they never dated. So not compatible, Hazel declares. And wait, what's this? Josh is Emily's brother? How random is life? Hazel had no idea. I feel that though. Wait, why am I just agreeing with this? Okay, no. Yes. Plot-wise, this book has holes. For example, the fact that her best friend is Josh's sister, and that isn't realistic. That part of the book was not solid. The fact that Josh happened to be her best friend's sister and they didn't know and they went to college together. Yeah. Okay, I get that. I get that that is not, it's not a great plot line, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that solid, but it's fun, okay? I am an advocate for fun. Books are just allowed to be fun sometimes. They don't have to be like 100% all the time, just like rigidly put together. I'm an advocate for books just being fun sometimes. Sue me. Don't sue me. I have no money. Because, you know, she never knew Emily's maiden name and never guessed the teenage photos of Emily's brother were of Josh, so she missed the wedding photos sitting around them. Okay, yes. Okay, I understand. Or forgot Emily showed her a few, and if Emily mentioned a brother, she must have never put two and two together. Sure, Amy, I mean Hazel. I don't get that connection. Sure, Amy, I mean Hazel. I don't get that connection. I don't get that. I don't get that connection. I don't understand that. Now we get Josh's point of view. Hazel sure is not like any other woman, and wow, she's hot. Back to Hazel, wacky pet stuff, her mom, also so cool. Meet cute with Josh, and all together they knew each other's back when, meet cute with Josh, although they knew each other back, okay, wait, sorry, I messed up the sentence. Wacky pet stuff, her mom, also so cool. Meet cute with Josh, although they never knew each other back when. Why is the sentence so hard to read? Meet. Whoa. Okay. Meet cute with Josh, although they knew each other back when, so nothing is ever going to happen, not ever. Okay, there should have been a comma, it wasn't my fault. She's totally there to offer advice on Josh's icky girlfriend, who is then out of, why can't I read? She's just totally there to offer advice on Josh's icky girlfriend, who is then out of the picture, and then, uh-oh, Hazel's whole apartment is flooded. Bro, this is how all romance, you could write this review and put in any plot line of any romance book. Any character's names, you could do that. Like, this is not like I understand this is opinion based, but this is a very trope-filled book. Most romances that like this are. When going into this, you should know that the plot line is going to be very similar to every other romance book. She totally doesn't know how it happened, but she's so grateful for Josh for letting him stay with her, and she's going to help him start to date. What's this? They go out and Hazel, totally eats whatever she wants and drinks it, absolutely crushes it at bar trivia, and even has a mildly bawdy joke about pronouns that totally kills, and such a great thing that she and Josh teamed up. She confides she's competitive. I bet that it's the tip of the iceberg for you, Hazel. Darn, the dating thing seems to mostly be Hazel entertaining Josh while they out with other people. While they're out, it should be there. While they're out with other people on a series of disastrous double dates, the girl at the grocery store seemed cool. How was Hazel supposed to know she wasn't? You can guess the rest. Yes, all does end well, but then Yes, all does end well, but then Nick Dunn got his Yes, all does end well, but then Nick Dunn got his cool girl too. What? Why don't I understand the connection to Gone Girl? I don't get it. Okay. I think I see what they're saying about the connection between Amy and Hazel, how they're both kind of like quirky, fun, but Amy was not quirky, was she? I don't think so. She was like cool girl, yeah, but it's different. Overall, I think that was my fault on having trouble reading that review. There were some punctuation and grammatical errors, but I'm not basing reviews off of that. And that was like a solid review. Like, I'm not gonna argue with it because it brought up good points. I'm not gonna say it was wrong. I'm gonna say you should know by now that books like that are gonna be trope filled. And I happen to like a good trope here and there. And especially in romance reads. I thought it was very cute. It's just like, this is my like safety read. This is like whenever I'm having a bad day, I read this book. And I'm not looking for flawless plot holes or super engaging main character. I'm looking for just like fun and just like easy to read like books. That's all I'm looking for. And I think that this book was not written to be like a life-changing, revolutionary novel. It was just written to be fun. And I had fun. And I'm an advocate for fun. As I have said, the camera angle has changed because I didn't like how it was before. But I think I'm gonna give this one a rest. I feel like all of the reviews are kind of the same. I've looked over some more reviews and they all seem to have the same kind of consensus. Either they don't like Hazel or they think that the plot was unoriginal. I don't have a tripod is the thing. And so what's happening here, stacks of books and candles, is not entirely reliable. So the angle is gonna change a lot. So Josh and Hazel, my opinion has not changed. I feel the same about it because I'm an advocate for fun and I think this book was just fun. And the 1-star reviews apparently went out looking for fun. Next, I'm gonna do Crooked Kingdom next. I think, yes. Okay, so Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo is next. Now, I gave this book an easy 5 stars. This is one of my favorite fantasy books. Leigh Bardugo is my favorite author currently. And so I do feel very strongly about this book. And I'm very curious what people will have to complain about it because it did so many things so well, in my opinion. Okay, there are 163,000 ratings, 23,000 reviews. The overall star rating is 4.6. That is incredibly high. Wow. There are 544 1-star reviews. I'm ready. This person rated it 1 star for the ending only. They said the 1 star is straight up for the ending only. I'm an emotional voter. And I get that. I get it. I rated The Darkest Minds. I loved that book, honestly. And that probably would be one of my favorite books of 2019 had it not been for the ending. I totally get that because I emotionally rated that book. I rated it purely based off of emotion, which my emotion was sad. Okay. I'm trying to find somebody who didn't DNF it. Oh my gosh, why is everybody DNFing this book? Okay, let me try this one. Okay, this person, 1 star. I'm pretty conflicted about the first book, but I'd seen some people mention liking the second one better, so I decided to give it a shot. I agree with this. I like Crooked Kingdom much better than I like Six of Crows. In fact, I think I gave Six of Crows 4 stars instead of 5. To be honest, I'm not sure even Bardugo knew what the plot was supposed to be. Going into Crooked Kingdom, I thought the plot would be centered mostly around rescuing Inej, with a little bit of get our money on the side. I wasn't sure how it was supposed to fill over 500 pages, but I figured surely something more would pop up to help fill a book this size. Well, folks, it never did. By about page 250, we'd gotten Inej back in the most uncaz way possible, and I really started struggling to finish the book. There was never any motivation to keep going other than getting the money, and the longer that took, the less I cared. The climax made little sense to me as a reader because half of it came out of left field and half of it directly contradicted what we've been told. Ah yes, Kez hid the true plan from even the reader. How genius. No, actually it was very annoying to suddenly be left completely out of the plan and be as clueless as the general public. We were told the basic plan, and then once it was in motion, it was clear everyone knew the true plan, but the reader missed that little meaning. In the end, it made it all seem like a bad Scooby-Doo reveal, with Van Eyck ranting about those meddling kids while the gang congratulated themselves on their brilliance. It wasn't brilliant, it was convenient and stupidly easy. Ah! That's funny. That is actually funny. That's really funny. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna claim to say that I remember everything about this book because I read it about a year ago and I read many things since then. And so I can't back it up the same way I would if I were to remember all of the details of the book. I'm going to reread it soon, but right now things are slipping my mind. The plan thing. There are two ways that I've seen authors deal with kind of like plan tropes. So like if there's something they have to get done, they need a plan to get there. They either let the reader in on the plan and don't let other characters on, I guess there's three ways. They let the reader in on the plan, some of the characters don't know about the plan, so the reader gets this kind of omniscient view of the book or the plan where they know things that other characters don't. Or they have it where everybody knows the plan, the reader knows the plan, the characters know the plan, good times for everybody. And then the third way is what Leigh Bardugo did in Crooked Kingdom, which is you don't know the plan, some characters know the plan, some people don't know the plan, everybody's confused about the plan. And that is my favorite way. I think that is very much opinion-based because I can understand why readers like to be more in the know than the characters in the book because it makes tension. Because you know things that the characters don't. It's like that. It's like when there's a misunderstanding in a book and it's like, I know that everything's okay. You just have to talk to each other. It's like that kind of thing. But I personally don't like that. I like when I'm just as surprised as the characters because it makes me feel like I'm even more engaged in the book. I feel more engaged with the book when I'm experiencing things at the same time other characters in the book are. And that's purely based on opinion and my personal reading preferences. This review, I don't feel mad about it because I think that it actually like really well thought out its opinions and it had evidence from the book and everything like that. I think this is simply a matter of like differing opinions. I actually liked the end when Van Eyck was like, oh darn, like and Inej came at the end of the book. I think that if the entire second book had been focused on capturing Inej, I'm pronouncing that name every single time differently. I think it's Inej. You know what, I'm going with Inej for the rest of this video. I think if the entire book had been about rescuing Inej, it would have kind of fallen flat. I think one of the things Leigh Bardugo does really well is like have all these multi-layering plots and all these different things that are happening, so it really keeps excitement up. Also, Inej is such a good character that I would hate for it to be just about rescuing her. It would have kind of been this like damsel in distress trope, which I think was not the point of the book. And so I really liked the idea of like Inej having such a big role in the book that wasn't just the fact that she needed to be saved. I think that's something really powerful that Leigh Bardugo did. And I think also another thing that this review doesn't take into account is the diversity and the representation, which I think is one of the things that boosts the Six of Crows duology into such high ratings. A lot of these people are just looking at plot lines, which I think is a very one-dimensional way to view books because there are so many other things that we need to think about when reviewing books because clearly Leigh Bardugo made direct efforts to have a lot of representation, have a lot of diversity, have it like a very accurate portrayal of how our world actually is. That's my one thing about this review that is like, I mean, you're only focusing on plot, and that is a very one-dimensional way, in my opinion, to view a book. But no shade, no tea. You're allowed to have your opinion, and and sometimes that doesn't matter to people. Representation, sometimes that doesn't matter, and that doesn't affect people's enjoyment of a book. And that's fine. You be you. Wait, that's not what people say. You do you. That's what it is. Most of these people are just saying that the storyline doesn't interest them. That's fine. Like, if you don't enjoy the plot, then don't read it, girl. People are saying it's boring. I mean, that is simply just opinion, and you're allowed to have an opinion. So don't read it if it's boring you. Good for you for DNFing it. Okay, next I'm going to do The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I adored this book with all of my heart, all of my soul. I read it last July for the reading rush, and I loved it so much. I personally didn't like it for the characters. I liked the characters, but that wasn't the reason I liked it. I liked it for the plot. I just liked it because of the plot more than the characters. And I think that the characters in this book as well are very polarizing like they were in Josh and Hazel. Okay, so this has 4.33 stars on Goodreads, which is amazing because I think this book is amazing. It has 1,201 one-star reviews. Wow, this person right off the bat, I'm seeing one that says worst read of 2018. Let us jump into this. It has 204 likes. That is amazing. Good for them. Okay. Worst read of 2018. For glucose gluttons, syrupy scoops sprinkled with trite truisms. Alright, whatever that means. To paraphrase a quote attributed to Abe Lincoln, does that mean it's not Abe Lincoln's quote? I don't know. For those who like this kind of book, it is just about the kind of book they would like. A significant failure in my personal vetting process. I repeatedly winced or rolled my eyes at such soppy, silly prose as implausible as, oh, this is a quote. It's a quote, by the way. I love you so much that I thought you were the meaning of life. I thought that people were put on earth to find other people. I was put on earth to find you and touch your skin and smell your breath and hear all your thoughts. Okay. Seven Husbands is quite a love of truisms, brimming over with bromides. Okay, this is too far for me. Oh no. Okay, brimming over with bromides. What are bromides? A trite or unoriginal idea. Okay. So a trope. Because it's just a trope. Alright. Some marriages, okay, there's another quote. Some marriages aren't really that great. Some loves aren't all encompassing. Sometimes you separate because you weren't that good together to begin with. That's what this person said. Sometimes reality comes crashing down on you. Whenever you're given... Okay, I get what they're saying. They're saying these quotes are just like, take a Pinterest quote, change the words a little bit. If I want things to change, I have to change how I do things. And schmaltzy advice, like, you have to find a job that makes your heart feel big instead of one that makes you feel small. So if you're still on the fence, by all means, read it. Alright, I disagree because I think that this book had a lot, like, I think that's only taking a small percentage of the amazing quotes in this book and just only focusing on those. That's taking a cross-section of, like, a part of the book. That's not even, like, an accurate sample of all of the things this book says. And sometimes things are just cliche. Sometimes things are just cliche and it just has to be that way. I think the really unique thing about this book is that the plot took those tropes and those cliches and made them mean something different. Because Evelyn Hugo was not a typical character. This book was not following a typical love story. And I think if you take those quotes out of context, they do seem cliche. And they do seem very, like, I've heard this a million times. But in the context of the book, they made something totally different. Because this book does talk a lot about agency, feminism, sexuality, acceptance. Like, this isn't just talking about, like, I want things to change, I have to change how I do things. That's not just about, like, man, my life sucks, I gotta change. Like, no, it's about taking your rights back and, like, finding agency in a world that is designed to subordinate you. Like, it's not just about, like, man, I gotta make a life change. No, it's like, it's so much more powerful than that, and to take that and dilute it to just a cliche is not doing it justice. And so I disagree with this review. I think that it's, like, it's opinion. Have your opinion. But I disagree. I think that this book was incredible, and I think that you should still read it. Okay, let's try this one. I liked some parts of Evelyn's life, but I don't think this book was worth the read. The writing is too simple and juvenile. The dialogue and characters' inner thoughts are laughable. I thought this was her debut novel, but apparently not. This was just poorly executed. The characters don't have distinctive voices. There's no development whatsoever. Maybe just Evelyn, but I'm not quite sure. She kept making the same stupid mistakes over and over again. Monique was annoying. She was a complete mess of a character. I don't understand the purpose of having her in a book. This would have been so much better if only the author focused on writing Evelyn's story. I don't even want to talk about the selling point on the book's supposedly brilliant queer and Latina representation. I'm so disappointed. I think it did have a lot of representation. The writing, too simple and juvenile. I think it was easy to read, in my opinion. That's the way I would put it. I don't focus a lot on writing unless it's, like, actually bad, because I think when you have a plot that is this good, an easy to read writing style actually is better because you want people to read it. you want people to have an in on this novel, and I think a lot of books adopt easier writing styles so that more people can read them easier. Dialogue and characters' inner thoughts are laughable. That's an opinion. I don't agree, but that's, you can have that opinion. The characters don't have distinctive voices. I don't, and there's no development. I thought there was a lot of development, especially with Evelyn Hugo. You can see how clearly she develops over the book and her relationships and things like that. And I think Monique's story was very important to the plotline. I don't know, I think this is simply a difference of opinion. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I think I've argued enough for this book, and I've defended it. I defended its honor. Congratulations. Next, we're moving on to the most wholesome novel I've ever read, Lovely War. Okay, listen people, if you ever need the most wholesome novel you will ever read Lovely War. Okay. 4.28 stars on Goodreads, 9,000 ratings, 2,000 reviews. This book is not as popular as the other ones, I don't think. So it only has 60, wait a second, what? It only has 61 star reviews. Wow. Okay, it's not as popular as the other ones I read, so people are just saying they found it boring. Okay. Oh my gosh, wow, this is so intense. Okay, we'll read this one. These are very short reviews, so we'll read a couple. A clever premise, Hephaestus puts Aphrodite on trial for infidelity, and a succession of gods tells how young love and war and racial prejudice and music were divinely influenced in World War I, but this is a made-for-TV movie, a Hallmark card, and I just couldn't take it. Barry should leave the God Update franchise to Rick Riordan. Whoa, that is a big claim! I disagree, considering Rick Riordan writes a lot of middle grade books, and so is he leaving entire demographics out of him, and if he was the only one who wrote godlike premises, we would be at a loss. It does talk about young love, war, racial prejudice, and music, and it is fiction, so they're not claiming that in real life they were divinely influencing World War I. I did not think it was a made-for-TV movie, a Hallmark card at all. This was so much more intense than any Hallmark movie or card. In conclusion, you can have your opinion, but I disagree with it. Listen, lady, you can listen, okay, you can have your opinion about it. I don't really understand your reasoning behind it. I wish you had expanded more, but if you didn't like it, then that's your opinion. Okay, next. I just really didn't enjoy this. The characters were bland, the storyline rather uninteresting, and I felt as though it could have been shorter. Okay. I mean, I didn't think the characters were bland, but that's obviously my opinion. I saw it completely differently. Storyline rather uninteresting. If you don't like romance or historical fiction, then I greatly assume this would be a very boring storyline for you, and it could have been shorter. I wish it had been longer, but if you don't like a book, then obviously you're gonna wish it would have been shorter. Okay. Felt literally nothing for the characters and felt none of the romantic spark. What? Okay. That's wild, but wow. Okay. The romantic relationship seemed rushed. They didn't. Alright, okay. Entirely unemotional. I got sobbed! Okay. The chapters with gods narrating could have been done better if each god had a really distinct voice and personality trait. Okay. I'm really disappointed because I thought I'd love this, but I guess I'm just so not a fan of historical fiction. Maybe I'll try this again in the future, but for now it wasn't for me. Alright. That's totally fair. I mean, if you don't like historical fiction, this definitely would have been for you, dude. Wouldn't have been for you. I think that's a fair point, God having a really distinct voice and personality trait. I don't remember thinking that they didn't have that, but if you think they didn't, then that's a good point. I felt this book was very emotional, in my opinion, and the romance I did not think was rushed, but you know what? Okay, last one. I found this to be very boring and convoluted. If this was geared towards adults, then maybe I would have gave it more of a try. However, the fact that a teen is supposed to follow this type of multiple perspective story is hard to fathom. What? I'm a teen? And I followed it. What is that saying about teens? Are you saying teens are too dumb to follow a multiple perspective story? What? Okay, that's... Alright. Actually, I have a hard time believing any age of reader would follow the story. Alright, it started out boring and I had a hard time finding engrossing myself in the story. I think because Barry had too much going on, the romantic couples, the trial of the gods, there was just no reason for it. It's interesting that they said it was boring and that there was too much going on, because those kind of seem like contrasting ideals. But Barry should have focused on the aspect of the story and leave it at that. It is a shame because I love both historical fiction and Greek mythology, and it's great that Barry wanted to take a new spin on it, but I don't think it's executed correctly. I wish they had gone into more detail. I mean, I was very engrossed in the story. I don't understand the part about a teen, any age reader follow this type of multiple perspective story. I don't understand that at all. I feel a little gypped, in fact, that they think that teens couldn't follow. I don't know. That's enough. That's enough of that. We're gonna keep this one short. In conclusion, you're allowed to have an opinion. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found some kind of enjoyment out of this video. If you'd like me to do this for my childhood reads, or if you want me to do I read 5-star reviews of my least favorite books, let me know. I'll probably definitely do the one where I read 5-star reviews of my least favorite books, because I tend to have stronger opinions about books that I don't like than books that I do like, which is interesting. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.